what is up? I'm gonna try and do this in one take, which might not happen, but I'm gonna attempt to make it happen. Today is going to be just really a different video than, you know, my normal vlogs that I do. So let's get right into it. For those of you that use Twitter, or Instagram too, I'm sure you guys are well aware of the billionaire or like exotic lifestyle kind of accounts where, you know, they're constantly promoting, you know, Bentleys and all that stuff, and Porsches, and just basically billionaire things and whatever. And I've noticed that, and I've noticed a lot of my friends, not even just friends, but just people in general, retweet that, and it almost kind of follows a pattern of, do material things make me happy, which leads me into the topic of today's video. Will a car make you a happier person? Now, I want to say one thing, because I know a lot of people tend to get butthurt about things when I don't clarify everything. So I'm gonna say, if you're a car enthusiast, just feel free to exclude yourself from this list and don't feel like I'm including you, because to be honest, I bought my car, my BRZ, and every other car before this. Well, this is the first car I bought, but besides the point, to make me happy. So feel free to take yourself off this list. I'm talking more or less people that buy cars exclusively for brand names. So okay, there's me pausing and trying to get my bearings together with the whole one take thing. But for example, I grew up in, I guess what you'd call a well-off house. I wouldn't say we were rich, but my dad was always into cars, and we, you know, were able to afford things.
Hey, band.
I swear my radar wants to interrupt every video I make. But I always, you know, grew up in a house where, you know, we could obtain pretty much, we lived a very comfortable lifestyle, I'll say that. So my dad was into cars since, you know, I mean, his first car was like a Mustang, like back in like the 70s, like a Mustang Cobra. I don't know what the car, like, I don't know if it was like a GT500 of the modern day, but it was some sort of special package Mustang. And he had an RX-7, an FC RX-7, and all that stuff. So he's always been into cars, and as a result, I've grown up. From my first memory, we had a 9.8, I don't even want to say numbers because I don't want to, you know, look stupid on camera, but it was one of the first generation Boxsters. So we had that, and he had a 7 Series then, and then I don't know what other cars he had in that gap, but when I was 16, he had an E60 M5 that I drove around for a little bit before I got my Speed 3. So that was always one of my, like, I guess, insecurities, or, you know, just, I was always really apprehensive to buy things. Like, I remember in 5th grade, this is super off topic, but my parents were like, if you get, like, I was doing really bad in school, which is another video I definitely want to make, but I was doing really bad in school, and as kind of like a bribe, they were like, if you do good in school, we'll buy you, you know, an iPhone. And this was when I was in like 5th grade, so this was like the original iPhone. I'm sick right now, so if I cough intermittently, I'm sorry, but I've got, like, recovering from a cold, which is why I haven't uploaded in like a week. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So my parents told me that if you get a B in, I think it was like, I don't know, science or math or something, that they were gonna buy me, you know, the first generation iPhone. And I ended up getting a B, but I told them I didn't want it because I didn't want to look like the rich kid, because iPhones at the time were, I guess, pretty exclusive. They weren't everywhere like they are now. So I ended up getting one of those, like, for those of you that remember, like, it was like a Sony Ericsson, like, slider phone that had the keypad and whatever. It was like a white little candy bar. Anyways, so I was always kind of insecure about having parents that were able to buy me stuff, and I never really liked them buying me stuff. So, but as a result of that, I was able to be exposed to, you know, various, not supercars, but sports cars, nice cars throughout my whole life. Most recently, this past summer, and then a couple months after my Speed 6 died, I drove my dad's old 911 for, yeah, about 5 months daily. So this is kind of where I'm getting my experience with, you know, do nice cars make you happy? Does a brand name make you happy? Does it pull you more girls? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever people think that don't have experience with this stuff, I feel like I have some sort of like experience to be able to talk about this. So here's the thing. Having a nice car is like wanting to date Jessica Alba, right? This is probably a terrible analogy, but you want what you can't have. It's just human nature. But when you get it, it's cool for like a week, you know, and I mean to say this in the most humble way possible, but it's with everything. Everything you get, like when you were a kid and you want something really bad for Christmas, and you know, you finally get it, and then you have it, it gets old. Like, it doesn't get old, but it just becomes normal, and you want the next thing. So with these cars, it's like you get it, but after a week or two, the vanity of the car wears off, and you know, it just becomes your car. It becomes your daily driver. It happened with me with the 911. You know, for 2 weeks I'm like, you know, turn on Rick Ross 911, and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'm the shit, you know, blah blah blah, which was really stupid looking back at it, but it was cool. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm driving a 911, this is tight. And obviously I love the car for what the car was, and not just because it was a Porsche. But after a week or two, it really just became like my normal, like, just, it was just a car to me. You know, everybody else would comment on it, and I'd be like, yeah, you know, it's a cool car or whatever. But after those 2 weeks, it became less and less about the cool factor of the car, and I'm started to really appreciate the driving dynamics of the car because I'm an enthusiast. But to the average guy, which is pretty much anybody, or I would say 95% of the people that drive Porsches in my area, are not car enthusiasts, and they buy them strictly for the brand name. Just to be, I have a Porsche, you know, like they want the elitism that comes with it or whatever, but people just buy them to, you know, whatever, just to seem like they're upper class or whatever. So I guess what my point is that I know a lot of kids my age that are, you know, finally able to get into leases or finance things, and they go out and they finance, you know, a 3 Series or a 5 Series and whatever, and it's like, people just, a car, it's not, a brand is not going to make you happy. You know, buying a BMW 3 Series, it's not going to pull you girls. If anything, most of the girls that I know that have nothing to do with the car scene don't like the cars. Like, they don't like fast, cool, like they just don't care. Like, cars to them are like transportation. They might think that it's like wow, you know, that's a cool car, but like most of the girls I know, when I drive them, I mean, even in my BRZ, they think my BRZ is a fast car, if that says anything, but they don't care. They don't care what you drive, you know, as long as you're not driving like, you know, a clunker that, you know, where everything's falling apart. Like, most girls, 99.9% of girls that I know and have asked, couldn't give 2 shits less about what you drive. Now, the 0.1% that do care, you probably don't want to be around them anyways. So, no, I would not suggest buying a car for the attention of girls. But the purpose of this video was, will it make you happy? And the answer to that question is no. I was no happier driving a Porsche 911 than I was driving my grandmother's Camry. If we're talking about as a person, this chick really just cut me off. Cool. If we're talking about as a person, how happy I was, you know, it made no difference to me. Driving a rental car, Kia Optima, versus the 911, I was the same person. The car had no effect on my happiness whatsoever.
Hey, band.
Wow. So, no. A car's not gonna make you happy. If you're an enthusiast, then buy a car that will put a smile on your face. And there's tons of cars that are affordable. BRZ, Miata, Focus ST, Fiesta ST, fucking, I don't know, older cars. You can get Skylines for cheap now. I don't know, like, there's so many cars out there that will put a smile on your face. Mustangs even. I'm not really like a big fan of Mustangs, but they're good cars. You know, but buying a car as a status symbol, like, I just know so many rich people that are just fucking depressed and miserable. And on the flip side, I know people that are making $30,000, $40,000 a year, not kids, but you know, grown adults, that are the happiest, most they just love life. You know, they don't have the luxury to go vacation in, you know, the Caribbean, or, you know, go to London and shop. You know, like, they don't have those luxuries. They probably take a trip to Dallas and go to the Dallas Zoo, and that's their vacation for the year. But that doesn't bother them though. They're happy people because they're fulfilled. You know, they work their job, they pay their bills, and then they have their hobbies, doing whatever they do. If they like to go play golf, they go play golf. If they like to, you know, drive their car, if they have a car, I don't know, I'm just throwing out examples. But happiness is not going to come from a car, a house, any of that stuff. Like, I had to learn this. Well, luckily I learned this from an early age, but it just doesn't happen that way. It doesn't work that way. Like, you have to find it elsewhere. Like, you have to find what your purpose is. And I know I'm sounding, I don't want to sound like Dr. Phil here, but like, it bothers me so much because I live in an area where it's all about keeping up with the Joneses, and everybody's got to outdo each other with, oh, you got a 2016 C-Class, well, I got a 2017 C-Class, you know, and I've got air-conditioned and massaging seats and a digital dash. You know, that's really like how my area is. Like, there are people, Texas isn't, or San Antonio at least, isn't as bad as like Dallas, for example, as far as like flaunting money, but like, people here that are not really rich, or that really don't have money, are leasing cars, you know, thinking that people really care, and they don't give a fuck. Like, nobody I know is like, wow, he drives a C300, like, that's the man right there. Like, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. So, I don't know. That's just my rant about this. But, you know, obviously some people that have the money, and if they want to go do that and drive a luxury car, that's fine, but that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that really can't afford the cars, that drive them because they think that it makes them seem of more importance, or, you know, makes them seem cooler, when it doesn't. It doesn't make you happier. The wow factor doesn't make you happier. Like, it's a facade, and car manufacturers are pretty smart at marketing to people, you know, that you know, that's what they're made to do. It's like, oh, you drive a Benz, you know, you're gonna look, buy our car, you're gonna look fancy and elegant. Like, look at the commercial between a Toyota, like a Toyota RAV4, and then look at the commercial of a Mercedes-Benz GLK. I don't know what the SUV is. Or look at the difference between like an Audi Q7 and a RAV4. There's a huge difference. You know, the RAV4 commercial, I remember I was watching like the Utah Jazz game last night, and hey, it's an 86. Yo, what's up, dude? But I was watching the Jazz game, and a RAV4 commercial came on, and it was more just about promoting like an outdoorsy kind of lifestyle, and it was something about adventure. But you watch a Mercedes-Benz commercial, and it's all about luxury and lavishness, and you know, it's marketing, and I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of getting vague here, but no, a car's not going to make you happy. You got to find that in yourself. So save yourself lots of money and real pain when you have a $75,000 car note that, when that vanity wears off in 2 weeks, you're like, oh fuck, I got to pay this off still. Avoid that, like, completely, and you'll be straight. So anyways, yeah, this is not going to be a one take. I said in the beginning of the video, and this is after I edited it, but I said I was going to try and do it in a one take, but I lost my thought process like 3 times. So not a one take, I'm sorry, but hopefully you guys, you know, maybe can discuss this in the comments. Again, I don't want to offend anybody. Like, I'm not trying to act in any way superior, because my, you know, again, it kind of bothers me, but it still does to this day. I'm more comfortable with it now, you know, because I'm more fortunate, or I feel more fortunate that my parents are able to buy things and, you know, provide me with nice things, or they don't really anymore. You know, I kind of got to pay the bills now, adulting, but you know, I'm more fortunate now for that, so it doesn't really bother me anymore. But I don't want to come across like I'm some rich kid that's telling kids or other people what to do. I'm just like giving my experiences growing up in an upper class side of town, you know, dealing with these people that are just kind of shallow, and, you know, I don't know. It's not gonna make you happy. It's not, like, they're you know what, like, at the end of the day, like, Porsches are great cars, and if you are an enthusiast and, you know, you want a 911 because they're fucking fun cars, and I don't blame you, I want one too, then by all means, then set that as a goal. I guess my camera cut off there, I don't know. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to make more like talk videos, I'm kind of, you know, I want to test the waters with that, because like I said in a previous video, I guess you could call me an entrepreneur. I don't know, I don't like that term, or I don't like calling myself that, but I'm kind of going through the journey, and I kind of want to document it, and just, you know, kind of from a square one perspective, and not like, you know, like that I'm some hot shot that, you know, makes a YouTube channel about how to get rich. Like, I kind of want to document like the trenches and, like, you know, the process of me building several businesses. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know, and I will definitely start, you know, and have some different content to add to the channel besides cars. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. You know, I'm always open to discuss different point of views and whatever. So let me know what you think. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Peace.